I set out to make a film to save sharks. And I'm in way over my head. We have a decision to make, and we don't have much time. This is no longer just about saving the oceans. It's about saving ourselves.
That is seen from Revolution as we welcome Rob Stewart to the program, the director, the man behind Sharkwater, and now part 2, I think it's fair to say. Welcome to BT.
Thanks for having me.
Did you ever expect, back in 2007 when you released Sharkwater, to see the response that you have? I mean, Canadians and those outside Canada as well, to say the least, have embraced this message.
We hoped. We made Sharkwater on the premise that humanity's good, and that if people just knew what was going on, they'd make different decisions and turn away from this soup. Shark populations had dropped 90% in 30 years, and that was crazy considering the fact that people do care about the future. You
reference soup, but you're talking about, of course, shark fin soup. I suppose we've seen certain restaurants issue bans here in Canada. Is that the biggest problem facing sharks right now? And we look at ocean pollution, we look at other issues as well.
The biggest direct threat to sharks is shark fishing for shark fin soup, and that's the practice of finning, where they cut off the fins, throw the body back. We're killing 100 million sharks a year. So that's a massive problem for the oceans.
I think a lot of people, those that maybe aren't necessarily familiar with the nuances of the ecosystem, might say, oh, the sharks are predators, and sharks have this image in the media, there's Shark Week, and everybody sees the big bad teeth and the gnashing and this, that, and the other. What have you found in your research, in your filmmaking process? I mean, what would be the impact of an ocean without sharks?
Sharks are some of the most important animals we have. Sharks are literally a framework for life in the oceans. They were the first vertebrate on Earth with jaws. They predate the dinosaurs by 150 million years. They've been here for 450 million years. So they're a framework for the life in the oceans that gives us our food, our water, and the oxygen in the air that we breathe. And by removing them, we'd be undermining the ecosystems we depend on for survival.
So tell me, how did Revolution come about? This is the film you'll be releasing April 12th nationwide. Is it fair to call it part 2 for Sharkwater?
It is part 2, but it's bigger, much bigger. I was at the movie premiere of Sharkwater in Hong Kong right before Sharkwater is going to be seen by 120 million people. And a woman in the audience puts up her hand and says, why stop us from eating shark fin soup if, according to the UN, all the fish are going to be gone by 2048 anyways? Citing studies from Dalhousie and Halifax stating that if fishing trends continue, we'll have wiped out all the fisheries. And so that, opened up a problem that Sharkwater didn't begin to address yet. And, we quickly figured out it wasn't just fish. It was, 90% of the fish are gone, 75% of the forests are gone, 40% of our greatest oxygen producer, phytoplankton, is gone. So human survival is running up into some pretty significant barriers right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at these numbers and they're striking and they're alarming, to say the least, but then we go, okay, now what? Who's it up to? Who is it up to impact change? You're a filmmaker, you're doing your part, many would argue, but now what?
Every revolution in the past that worked happened because everybody knew where we needed to go. Everyone knew we needed equality. Cultures and genders should be equal, and those revolutions were ushered in. And right now we just don't know what's going on environmentally. We don't know that the carbon in our atmosphere makes the oceans more acidic, and that that's caused 4 out of the 5 mass extinctions that have wiped out most life in the past, including the dinosaurs. So, education is the most important thing. Once we know what's going on, we'll engage in different actions, in different governments, different corporations, and that directs us to a world that works.
Isn't it interesting, so many times we look at society's ills, and oftentimes we see the most pure movements or the most pure expressions in the eyes and the actions of children. Have you noticed that children maybe have a different awareness when it comes to the ecology of things?
Totally. Children were the groups that changed the world most with Sharkwater. They fought for sharks. They fought for a world with sharks. And right now, the revolution is being led by kids because they're going to bat to fight for their future.
You know what? I'm so excited to see Revolution. As you mentioned, more than 100 million people, 120 million people took in Sharkwater, making it one of the most popular and highest grossing Canadian documentaries of all time. Rob, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, and thank you for being a part of this show.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Revolution, as mentioned, April 12th. It's out, and you can catch it at the favorite theater you frequent. It'll be everywhere with a very important message, to say the least. More information under the Inside BT link on our website. We can all do our part. It's 16 minutes to 9 o'clock. We're back with more BT on this Thursday morning, right after this.
On the next City Line, it's home day. We've got a lesson on mid-century modern furniture, sweet decorating with candy, and solving your window treatment problems. Home day on the next City Line.